Morning, family. Welcome to another episode of Island Girl. I am back in the island. I came back on Tuesday. Today's Friday. It's been a little bit hectic. So I worked Monday, and then Tuesday I took the day off because we were flying out, and then back to work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And like I told you guys, work has been a little bit crazy. They made mad changes. Right. I took a few days off, and when I came back, it was like a completely different place. Our, the way we work, like the way we review cases and things was completely different. And so it's been it's been a little bit difficult adjusting to the changes at work, but we go with the flow. Um, Detachment, right? Buddha says that the two the main reason why we suffer is because we want to hold on to things, right? And so we avoid things, or we try to um hang on to them. Um and so I'm not suffering because of this shit. It's just work. It doesn't matter. So whatever changes comes, you roll with the punches. Um, if they expect more from us, you do what you can and you keep it moving. I don't stress it, and I try to help my team with that. I work in a team of nurses. It's like 12 of us now, and so I'm one of the oldest, like one of the ones that's been there the longest. So I've been in my company for a long ass time, for 11 years. And so, and in this position, I've been there since 2019, 7 years. And so we know how it is, peaks and valleys. We know that when new management comes in, they change everything up. They don't sit us, the people who do the work, at the table. So they make all these changes that don't work. And they fucking ridiculous changes. And so they don't sit none of us at the table. They don't ask for our opinions. We try to give them our opinions. They ignore them, right? And so at the end of the day, you're just a worker, right? You're just an employee. This is not your company. So don't stress it. You go in, you work, you do your 9 to 5, and then you leave. And that's it. Like a lot of the people in my job, though, a lot of the other nurses, they like, this is really affecting them. And they're like super like upset, or like complaining, giving their suggestions and stuff. And it's like, you know, when we first go into those meetings and they're like, hey, we have these changes. Um, what is your opinion? Right? Right away, I'm like, how does, how will this work? First of all, we are going to be bombarded with all this extra shit that we didn't do before. There's one person that's going to be doing this. How will that work? Right? They don't see the logistics. They just from the top, they make these decisions and they make no sense. And so I express my opinion. And when I see that they're not really taking anything that we say into consideration, I'll stop expressing my opinion. Like, I come in, I do what you say. What you're saying isn't working. You're seeing it's not working. I am just an employee. This is not my company. You guys that get the big bucks, you figure it out, you know? And so that's it. And so, yeah, so work has been a little hectic, but I am so happy because I'm off next week again. Taking a lot of time off. I was talking to my mom yesterday. She was like, muchacha, está cogiendo mucho día libre. I'm like, ma, this is what you get. You get this much time off in these companies and in these positions, and you should take them. I don't always take all my time off because since I work from home, a lot of times I can take my computer places, right? I don't take time off to go to the doctor. A lot of times I go and I work. It's just, if it's just an hour. And so when my family comes, like when they travel here, I want to be off. I don't want to be, attached to a computer, especially now that it's super busy. But so, and then when I went back home, I took a few days off because again, I wanted to like go hiking with the kids, which we didn't do. But I wanted to be present and not just like chilling, but like on the computer, because literally that's my life. When I'm working, I am on the computer. I'm here posting and making podcasts while I'm working. I work in like 40 minutes, but it's not like it's when I'm working, it's in the back of my mind. Even if I'm down at the pool for lunch, I know that the hour is about to pass and I need to get back to the computer. So taking that time off to just like really detach from work, it's is so important for me. And yeah, so I'm really, really excited. And we came Thursday. I mean, we came Tuesday. Today's Friday. I've been working, but I've also been socializing. Scar had a birthday party, one of her faves' birthday. She turned 10 on Wednesday. So I worked a few hours and then try to bang out all my work by 2:30, and then went over there to that party with my computer. I still had it open. I was doing a few things until 5. Um, and it was great. And then um, Thursday. I walk with my friends, right? I walk with my faves here. And so one of them started a new job, Rosanna. So she wasn't able to join us because we go in the morning before I start work, before 9. And so it was me and Christina yesterday, and it was so great. It's like a group therapy, every Thursday we're like, okay, what time? We're like, okay, 7:30? Yeah, 7:30. And then we go. We might have to change it depending on Rosanna's schedule. If she wants to keep join, like if we go together, because she goes into work at 8 now. And so we might have to change it to the afternoon. But the morning is like my favorite time to work out because you go, you sweat, you get it out, and then you're 100% clean energy. You moved whatever you had to move, and that's it. But the walking, it's so beneficial to us because it's like a group therapy. And so we literally just talk about whatever's coming up for us right now, right? What are we dealing with right now? What were some of the things that came up for me in the last few days? And then we give each other feedback, and like, hey, because you might be seeing this from your lens, right? And so when you bring this to me, I'm going to tell you what that looks like for me. And so I give you another perspective about that. And so it first of all, you get to see the silver linings of the situation, because sometimes you're caught in that situation and you only see, the shit in it, like, fuck, this sucks, or like whatever it is, right? This hurt my feelings or this. But then when you kind of express it and we share it between us, both of us are super like self-aware. We've done the work, we put in the years, we've taken the classes. My girl Cristina has gone to all types of retreats. She's taken all types of courses. Mira, esa tipa ha hecho de todo. So we're very similar, very self-aware. And so us two together is like two the same, we come from the same cloth. And so yeah, so when she tells me something, I'm like, hey, what about this? Have you seen it like this? And then she's like, oh shit, you're right. That gives me another, and the same, I share something with her and she's like, hey, but what about this? And then it's just so beautiful because it's just like literally like it's like group therapy. And that's community. That's what community is about. So it's so beautiful, and I'm so happy we're back together. And then so today is Friday, thank God. These last 3 days have been fucking nuts with work, um and mad meetings, and they've been calling meetings left to right because of these changes that they've made. Before we had like one meeting every 2 months, like literally we didn't see each other's faces. We would just do our reviews and that's it. Nobody was on your ass, nobody was calling you. Now it's like calling here and they want your camera on, and I'm like in a shirt with no bra, I have to throw, and it's just like it's annoying because that's not how it was before. And then now they have a standing meeting at 3 p.m., which they say they're going to take away eventually. But like 3 p.m., come on, that's the time I pick up my kids from school. Hopefully by then that's over. Pero go with the flow, pivot. Every time I find myself complaining or like saying how annoying these changes are, I remember that I'm not in the hospital and I'm not watching my patients die and I'm not bathing them after they died, and tying, like, I'm not doing any of that. And my patients aren't dying on me. And I'm not walking into a shift that I don't know, I have 6 bedbound patients that I have to care for in those 12 hours, you know? And I have to keep reminding myself, like, oh, they increase your quota, big shit, And they've made changes in the ways you review, big shit. You're still working from the computer and you're still here. Like, here, like chill out, be look at the silver lining. You're not working in a hospital, you're working from here. And you're so smart, you could bang that shit out in a few hours. So just stop fucking complaining. And so I have to keep reminding myself that. And so that's that. And so today again is Friday and my family comes today. My older sister, her husband, and my niece Kay are coming from the US, from New Jersey. So that's why we were so happy, because every time we leave New Jersey, we leave sad, because we're leaving our people and we know we're not going to see them in a while. And so we were sad because we weren't going to see like Dali and the kids and Renee and Kenny and Max and Maria. We were sad about that. We did cry at the end. But we are so happy that my sister's coming. She was gonna come 3 days after we left. So we're like, okay, I see you over there. It was a little bit easier than normal. And so they're coming today and we're gonna have a great time. They're coming for like 7 days. And it's a short trip, but those are the best ones because you jam pack them. And I took the week off, so I don't have to be attached to the computer. I could be free. I could go to the beach. I don't have to be checking no emails. I am free. Just me being free from work and like being able to be in the pool and just like enjoying this beautiful place, this environment, and eating some yogurt fruit. Like, that's life for me. That is like the best. And so I'm really happy. And then once they leave, I go back to work, and then kids start school, and then we're back to our routine, you know? But like, summers are tough for me because like my kids are home. I never send them to like summer camp or none of that. And so I want them to have a good summer. I want them to be entertained, and I want to be present. I want to be available for that. I don't just want to like send them somewhere or send them with people. I want to be the one that does that with them. But I also have a job, and like I can't take 8 weeks off of work, And so I have to like be selective about the time I take off, and then also make sure that the days I take off are like we're doing something. And then sometimes when shit pops up, like, hey, Tuesday we're going here, and I didn't take the day off, then I call out because I'm not missing out on that. And so that's how I live. And I try not to call out a lot. I'm very responsible with that. Like sick time and like unscheduled days off. I don't do that because I feel like that's so inconsiderate of your team. If there's like 3 people off and then you call out and then they're like fucking dying. But again, that's not your company. So that's just me and my character and the way that I am. But if some shit pops up, like for Nathan, when Nathan had the his appendix removed, I literally thought I was taking him to a DD. They were gonna give him some medicine, and that's it. We were gonna go. No. And so I get to the hospital and they're like, he needs surgery. So I literally had to hit up my boss, like, yo, I gotta call out sick today. Usually you're supposed to call out 2 hours before your shift. So I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't know it was this bad, but I gotta call out today, and I'm probably not gonna be in tomorrow, but I'll let you know. And that's one of the only times that I like do that I call out sick, and I call out sick at exactly 9 o'clock when your shift is starting. But anyways, enough with work. Work is not my identity. That's just a piece of me. That's just how I make my money so I could live my life. So I wanted to talk about the energy we're in right now, right? The cosmos are doing, they're doing their thing, right? So pretty much during the eclipse that happened I don't even remember the date. Oh, on the 12th. there was a total solar eclipse on the 12th. And that same day, 6 planets were aligning, right? And then we also had the nodal shift, which is the north node and the south node were switching signs, right? And so all these changes, right? The eclipse and then the new moon, all these changes were happening. And then all of this is reorienting us, is turning the energy and making things happen, right? So that specific things can come up for us, right? So that things can come up from our subconscious mind, from this, right, and then come up to the surface so that we can face it, so that we can see it, so that we can heal it, right? And so a lot of things were coming up and are coming up because we're still in the middle of an eclipse. The next eclipse, the lunar eclipse, I think it's on the 28th, the 29th, por ahí, one of those days. And so we're still in the middle of an eclipse. And again, eclipse season is like very sudden endings and very like new beginnings. And it's doing a lot of things for us and changing things up for us. And big shit is happening. The universe, God is making things happen for us. And in a moment, they could be shitty. They could be good too. My cousin just got a job, like out of nowhere. That she just came into her hands. It was like, hey, you want to be the director of this school? And she was like, yes. So it could be good stuff too. But usually it's sudden endings. And so all this stuff is happening in the cosmos, right? And so, as my teacher said it, right? My spiritual teacher, Zeno Star Mahadevi, she pretty much said the energy in the cosmos is pretty much saying, get ready because big changes are coming, right? Because the world is about to change. And she said it's pretty much very similar. The energy in the cosmos and the planets, the alignment of the planets, all that stuff is very similar to what was happening in 2020, right? And then since 2020, the world has changed completely, and we're still kind of grieving that old world. We're still grieving, our our relationships and grieving a lot of things. A lot changed since we went indoors, and since we were on lockdown and all that stuff. A lot changed, right? And so we're still kind of grieving that. We're grieving that old life, and we were expecting kind of us to go back to normal one day, and it never happened. And it just got kind of worse, like technology completely took over, and people are engaging less in person, and they're like more just on the phones and zombie-ish. And it's it's been a big change, and that has led to so much more like so many more spikes in mental illness and in drug use, and you know pretty much people numbing with vices and things like that. And coño esta vaina, I hope you can hear this grass cutting in my video. But yeah, so pretty much with all that stuff, that all the ways that 2020 affected us, and showed us that that life that we were trying to go back to wasn't good for us, right? It wasn't really a good normal for us to go back to, right? And since then, what it's exposed more of, um, 2020 and the energy and all this, the alignments and the planets and all that, what it's exposed more of is just, and brought up to the surface so we can see it and then face it and then heal it and clear it, is all this greed in the world, right? All this greed, like the 1% owns everything. And also like all this abuse. We're able to see like the Diddy thing, and like how much abuse is present in Hollywood and in the music industry and in all these things that we've glorified, right? Abuse and just even like all the shit that's coming out of the CIA and, you know, MK Ultra and all that stuff is just showing, you know, that there's an imbalance and that there's a lot of dark shit that's happening. And the reason why it's being exposed now is because without awareness of it, we can't change it, right? And so if we keep just thinking, oh, Hollywood's amazing, the music industry is amazing, there's no abuse there, you know, there's none of that going on. It's just a great place where people go who have divine gifts and they get to become stars. And then in reality, these people are fucking literally selling their souls. They're literally being abused by these music moguls and all that stuff. And now it's being exposed so that we can see it, right? Face it, heal it, and so that we don't do this again, right? So that we protect these child actors, right? Like look at Hayden Panettiere who just died. Like all these kids, Britney Spears, like all these children that were abused whose parents didn't have their backs and their parents sold them to fucking these executives and sold them to all this stuff for, you know, for money. And then some not literally, but mostly it's almost literally, you know, you're giving the rights of your children and their protection up for money. There's a dollar sign for that, you know? Like I would never. But again, all of that's coming up for us to see so we can clear it, right? Because nothing that is things that aren't seen can't be changed and can be cleared and healed. So this is why all this shit is coming up for us to be seen in the collective and also individually. So a lot of stuff is coming up for us to be seen, you know. Still the savior complex that I still have a little remnants of, right? Still the self-sabotager, self-sacrificer that I have some remnants of is I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. um my difficulty with placing boundaries and enforcing those boundaries. I'm seeing it. I am seeing it. And so because I'm seeing it, I'm facing it and then I'm pivoting. I'm doing it differently. I'm no longer saying, oh, um, this person needs help. Let me go and help them. That's not my job, you know. That person has a parent, they have siblings, they have many more people before me, before I step in, right? That person's also an adult who can choose to seek psychological help, you know? And it's just like back in the day, I thought that this person needs help, God needs me to help them. But now it's like I have a lot on my plate and there's all other avenues where this person can seek help. And this is how I help. This is my service. You know, I provide these YouTube videos about my life. I put stuff on Instagram all the time, right? I am providing resources. I share the classes I go to. I invite people. I talk about them in every video. And that's my service. You know, if you need more than that, you got to go somewhere. You got to hire somebody. Eventually, I'm going to do one-to-ones, right? I'm not doing it yet. I'm letting all this energy pass first because it's a little bit overwhelming and my kids are still home and all that stuff. But yeah. And so I am seeing all the little patterns that I've been working on since last year, for years, but 2025 was the year of endings, and I was very much working on ending that, right? Ending those patterns of hyper independence and my need for control, my inability to surrender to God, to God's plan, um, my difficulty placing boundaries and enforcing them, right? My difficulty prioritizing myself and my needs, um, my my difficulty taking up space. I kind of just I I did that one. I healed that already. Taking up space. I take up space, and yeah, um, all that like dimming my light and all that. And so even when those things still pop up because again, I was doing that for 30 something years, right? I was doing that for a good 37, 38 years. I'm 39 now. When they pop up and I see it, I'm like, oh, there's that again. I'm doing that again. Um, and so when a decision comes to me and it's like, hey, can you, and that looks like I am self-sacrificing, or I am not respecting my own boundaries, or I am dimming my light, or then I consciously like choose this, you know. We're not doing this anymore, we're doing this now. And so that's how my 3D reality is changing, and how I'm showing up as somebody, a different person, right? I'm embodying this different energy, right? And so as I'm embodying this different energy, because I've seen my patterns, I'm working on healing them, and when they pop up again, I'm working on choosing differently, right? And so my 3D reality is showing differently. The community that I'm surrounding myself with is reciprocal, right? They do for me as I do for them. It's not just me doing it, because that's been me doing everything, me being available, me being the home that everybody comes to, right? And so the people that I'm giving access to, and the people who are able to touch this energy field and like bask in it, are people who are reciprocal with me, people who love me and accept me, and know the value that I bring to the table, right? To then know the value that having me in those circles is, right? I'm not going anywhere where I have to show my value. That shit is dead. That's over. Like, I am only going and I am only inviting and I am only around people who know this already, because I'm not wasting my time on that. And anyways, so pretty much with all this stuff coming up in the energy, in the cosmos, all this energy that's moving around, right? It's pretty much showing us like, it's giving us the opportunity to examine what isn't working, right? And so the universe is showing us that. God is showing us that, hey, 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 look at this. This isn't working anymore. This is making you sick. This person isn't for you. These people don't support you. These people only come around when you do something, but they don't ever invite you. Hey, 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 this person's a little hater. Do you see the energy? That person's hating. And so the universe will show you these things. It's coming up for you. It's literally in your face. And all you have to do really is just see it, right? See what it's supposed to teach you, and then just move differently, you know, learn from it, you know, acquire and take that lesson, take that wisdom with you, and it becomes a part of you. And then you're embodying this different, becoming this different person, right? Because once you have that wisdom, and once you kind of integrate that lesson that you're supposed to learn, that you can only learn when you face specific shit that you don't want to face, because it's very, very like confrontational. Like, hey, I'm putting myself in these circles where I have to be the one that does everything in order for us to hang out. Hey, um the energy I got from this person isn't the best, and I keep putting myself around them. It's just like, it's very confrontational, and it's really showing like the parts that you play in your own fucking victimization, in your own abuse. Like, why do you keep going to those places if you don't feel good? Why do you keep inviting those people? Why do you keep exposing yourself to that energy if it's not comfortable, or like, why do you keep inviting that person if every time they come it turns into a not what you wanted, right? And so it's more about like, how do I curate the space around me now? How am I being more selective of the people that I have around me, right? How do I, you know, be more selective of the people who have access to me, to my energy, and things like that. And so yeah, it's very much about, you know, um your boundaries. And so, for example, us people, like highly vibrational, highly empathic people like myself, healers, we are literally helping to carry the energy of the world right now. Like, there's so much chaos going on. There's so many wars. There's all these earthquakes. There's all this stuff, all this destruction, disasters, all this stuff is going on. And people can literally be losing their minds. Like, people are literally losing their minds. There's so many young people that are super sick. Man, I don't know if this shit is fucking up my. Let me go inside. I don't know if this is messing up my audio. I'm gonna sit in the sala. In the sala. So pretty much the collective vibration of the what's coming up in the 3D reality of the collective, right, on the world stage is showing us so much crisis, right? So much mental illness, natural disasters, right? Mother Nature is fucking pissed. Um, so many young people are having all these terrible cancers. The medical system is out of whack. All these vaccines are out of whack. Vaccines, terrible for people. Um, all this, even this Ozempic shit that's coming up, I do not trust it one bit. Like, I do not trust shortcuts. Like, I do not trust it one bit. There's not enough, there's not enough studies on it. There's not enough peer-reviewed journals. There's just not enough. I really believe that in a few years, I hope not, because I know a few people that are on it. There's going to be stuff coming up on Ozempic, just like stuff came up on the vaccine, right? And so we're seeing all this stuff on the world stage, right? On the 3D reality of the world, we're seeing all this chaos. And so so many people are in fear. They're in scarcity. That's where people live, in the vibration of fear, scarcity, anger, desire, right? They think that, hey, if once I get that $1 million, everything's going to be resolved. Once I'm a millionaire, my life is going to be so much better. Once I get that, whatever it is, fill in the blank, right? They're in desire. They're vibrating in desire. And so the highly vibrational, highly empathic people, the healers who know that everything is energy, right? That the energy that you are is the energy that you attract. That for you to rise in vibration, in energy, so that your energetic field is higher vibrating higher. You need to heal your wounds, which is causing blockages, which lowers your vibration. You need to heal your wounds, right? You need to move your body. You need to take care of your body, eat healthy, high vibrational food. They know that we have multiple bodies, right? Energetic body, the physical body, the mental body, all these bodies, right? We have so many bodies, and all those bodies need to be in balance so that we can vibrate higher, right? And so these healers, high vibrational, highly empathic people have to be very boundaried at this time. We have to have some fucking boundaries and know our boundaries and enforce them, because there's so much chaos in the world that all the people are suffering. You know, they're suffering. They're in fear. They're scared. They're running to us high vibrational people, right? To us highly empathic people, and they're plugging into us, right? Because when they come around us, our energetic field envelops them, right? And they feel the love, and they feel the peace, and they feel the light. And so they want access to us. They want to plug in to us, right? Because this feels good. Feels good to be here, right? And so it's in us to have the boundaries, to set those boundaries, and you know, and recharge and love ourselves. And so we have to continue to, you know, get deeper into our spiritual practice, deeper into our meditation, deeper into all the things that fills us, all the things that power our vessel up, that power our energetic battery up, all the things that clean our aura, from all the shit that comes into it from other people, right? Because when people come and they drop their emotional stuff on you, their baggage, and they give you that um, their energy, right? Because we're having energetic exchanges. It comes into your aura, right? It's in your aura. And so you have to be able to clear it. You have to clear that all the time. You have to keep clearing it. Clear your aura, clear your aura. Especially, highly vibrational, highly empathic people that come to us more. And so we have to be very boundary. We have to really hone in on our spiritual practice and and yeah, keep filling ourselves, keep loving on ourselves, keep being very selective of the people we give access to, right? The people who have access to us, making sure that they're not coming and bombarding us with their bullshit, and that also that when they do, we have the space for it, and also us knowing that there's other people's things is not our thing. Everybody makes their choices, and they live their life the way that they choose to, right? All of us are on our own individual journey, our own individual spiritual journey. We're all souls here. We are all in our own journey. And so other people's stuff is not our stuff, right? And their baggage is not our baggage to carry. And the decisions that they make is not our consequences to live in. And so everybody chooses what they want to do. They live the way they want to live. And then they have to be able to lay in the beds that they make. And so everybody's 3D reality, the life that they're living, right? The relationship they have with their children, the relationships or lack of relationship they have with their spouse, the relationships they have with their siblings, the relationship they have with their parents. It's all they're doing. It's they're doing, the people they're relating to, their parents, whatever. And so your 3D reality will show you, right? And if there's anything in your 3D reality that you're not good with, that you don't like, that you're not happy with, that you want to change, you can, and the way to change it is not by going into your 3D reality and changing that mom, your bully mom, or going into there and, changing that kid that's too hyper or whatever it is. The way to change it is by changing yourself and changing the way that you relate to those people. I can't change my job. I can't change. I mean, I could change my job. I could get another job, but there's no better job than this right now for me until I retire and actually just do healing work and one-to-one. And that's the plan. Retreats. That's the plan. That's the North Star. But until then, I am not changing. Like, the devil that I know is better than the devil I don't know. And so I can't go in there and like change the policies in my job, but I can change the way that I let it affect me. I can change the way that them raising the quota or the ways that we review things affects me. I do what I can. And if I make a mistake, we all make mistakes. That's what I tell my kids, because all these changes are literally, the quality of our work is going down because it's just, you don't even know what to do anymore. Every few minutes they're like, oh no, we're doing it like this now. And it's like everybody doesn't even know what the fuck is we're doing. They're changing shit out of nowhere. But anyways, enough of work. What else do I want to talk about? And so another thing, I spoke about the healers and the high vibrational, but I also want to talk about, so when we look into the world stage and when we look at, the collective, and we see all the crisis that's happening, right? All this mental illness, all these physical illness, right? People are diseased. People are having all this terrible cancer, autoimmune disorders, so much autoimmune disorder in women because we don't have boundaries. Women don't set boundaries. Women are self-sacrificing. Women have been socialized to put themselves in the back burner and take care of the kids, take care of the husband, take care of the parents, take care of the siblings, and they don't take care of themselves. And then one day they go to the hospital or they go to get a checkup and they're like, hey, you have this condition because you didn't take care of yourself. You didn't prioritize yourself. You didn't prioritize movement. You didn't prioritize eating healthy. You didn't prioritize setting boundaries and keeping these people who are stressing you out every single day out of your life, or like limited access to them, right? And so we are seeing all this chaos, all this crisis, and what it's showing us is that the environment we live in is toxic. It's not sustainable. You know, the systems that we're living in is not sustainable. There's not fair that 1% of the world has all the wealth, right? It's not fair that the medical system creates specific problems in people that then they sell medication to solve, right? Instead of getting to the root of the problem, which is your diet is terrible. The food we are consuming in this country, not here, but over there, the food we're consuming is full of shit that's making you sick, right? And everything, the school system is just an indoctrination. They're creating employees for the future. They're not creating critical thinkers. They're not creating leaders, right? And so all these systems are terrible for us. And so we are now seeing how terrible they are, right? All of this is being exposed for us to see with all this movement in the cosmos and everything. It's all coming up to the surface for us to see how terrible these systems are, and for us to remember, you know, and 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 know that we need to change this shit. The like revolution, right? The revolution will not be televised. So we need to see all the ways these systems are affecting us terribly. The patriarchy, capitalism, materialism, all this shit, right? How much it's affecting us and how terrible it's affecting us and how it's leading to the worst circumstances in the children who can't even sit still for 12 fucking seconds and watch a movie because of fucking all the shit that they watch. I forgot their name. I was gonna say Yo Gabba Gabba, but that's old. Coco Melon. And all the shit that's being produced so that these children's attention spans can be fucked, right? And so we're seeing that. We're seeing that. We're seeing the hyperactivity in the children. We're seeing people's inability to sit still and watch a fucking video. I was talking to Bay about he's gonna be making content about, you know, the villas. And he was like, no, it's been shown that for you to people to watch your stuff, you have to like have some movements within 12 seconds. And I'm like, what? Like my videos are like 35 minutes. I'm sure, I guess nobody's watching them because my shit is authentic. I sit down and I talk to you. I'm not doing all this music and text and this and that and that. It is what it is, you know. The value in and the gems that I'm giving is enough. And again, only the people with eyes to see and ears to hear will be able to see and hear the content that I'm giving and the gems and the wisdom that I'm laying out for people. You know, shit that it took me years to learn, you know, and also sharing my story, which is I'm being vulnerable. I'm sharing personal shit that nobody else is doing like that. And so I'm sharing it and I'm sharing what I'm learning from it, you know, so that if you're going through something similar, then you can get, you know, these are my resources. This is what I learned from this. Maybe this is what this means for you. If this not what it means for you, then maybe that helps you see what it means for you, you know, and lead you there closer, right? And so, yeah, this is a value that I'm giving to the world. This is my service. And I think that's it. I made little pointers. Yeah, little pointers about what I wanted to talk about. And so that's it for me, I think. Just keep observing, not absorbing, observing what the movement in the cosmos is bringing up for you, right? What's coming up, what's coming up in your, you don't have to go out and say, hey, I need to change this about myself. Just go living every day and whatever presents in your day. It's like, okay, what does the universe, what does God want me to learn from this? How am I being shown this? Why am I being shown this? Am I supposed to move differently? You know, what am I doing that I have been doing for years that isn't working? How is this showing me that that's not working? How is this showing me that I'm supposed to pivot, right? That the way that I'm showing up in these relationships, in this job, in whatever, in front of the mirror is affecting and leading to these things, you know, to these consequences, right? And so how can I change the energy I present myself with in these social environments, in these relationships, at work? How can I pivot, right? How can I do differently? How can I show up differently so that the 3D reality changes, right? And so that's it. You guys will be seeing me. I will be very active this week because my family's coming today and I'm so excited. And so my sister is coming with her husband and my niece, and then my mom and my father and my little sister are coming too. So we're all going to be together. The only one that's going to be missing is Kenny and Maria and Max. But we will be FaceTiming them a lot and sending them videos. And Kenny is such a beautiful soul. I mean, my sister too, both of them. But he loves when we're thriving. Like he loves to see us having a good time. He loves when my mom comes here, like comes from the capital over here. And that's how you know who loves you, you know, because even though they're not here and they wished they were here, like he wished he can come with Max and Maria right now, but he just started a new job. He's so happy that we're having a good time. And that's how you know that that's real love, you know, because there's no hate, there's no jealousy, there's no like, fuck, I wish I was there. There's no envy, there's no like, man, it's not fair that they get to do that. There's none of that. There's just love. There's just love. Like, I am so happy that they are together. I am so happy that they're having a blast. And he's gonna be there watching all that shit and like, you know, and calling us and showing us Max. And that's love. And that's what more people have to do because I know that there's a lot of envy in our circles, you know. People see you and they're like, damn, but I wish I had that, you know? And it's like, it should be more like, I'm happy that she has that, you know, and my happiness that she has that will help me attract that versus like, fuck, that's not fair that she has that and I don't. Because then the energy behind that is gonna repel that thing that she has that you don't. That spouse, those kids, that relationship with her parents, the whatever it is, you know. So yeah, peace out. I love y'all. Happy Friday. One more thing. I know I said I was done, but I really wanted to talk about this and I did it, and it's really important. And so, with all the crisis and all the chaos and all the things that are coming up right in the world stage, all of this destruction and all this stuff that's coming up, that the universe, that God is bringing up for us to see, right? All this, right? All the sickness in young people, the mental illness, the earthquakes, the wars, everything that's going on. The number one thing that we need to do is seek God, right? Seek God. We're not in the way that the Christians say, like, get the Bible and go to church, you know, seek God. God is inside you. God is right inside you. You know, you don't have to go anywhere to seek God. Yes, if you feel more comfortable seeking God in a church, go for it. You know, if you feel more comfortable in a temple, if you feel more comfortable wherever it is that you feel more comfortable seeking God, do that. But seek God, right? Work on your relationship with God, right? Work on having a relationship with God if you don't, right? Work on talking to God, praying, meditating, which is where you get to feel God, right? You're enveloped in God's energy. Um, so yeah, work on that because as the years go by, it's gonna get more hectic, more chaotic, more things are gonna be exposed, right? Because the way we've been living isn't how we were meant to live here. You know, humans weren't meant to live in so much homelessness and destruction and mental illness and greed, and abuse. And so all that stuff is coming up to be seen, because nothing that isn't seen can be healed, right? So awareness comes first, and then the healing, the changing, the integrating, and then we can embody this new human that we're meant to be, right? This new human that this great awakening is gonna lead to. But until we see all the shit that's coming up and heal all that shit that's coming up, we are unable to be reborn. And this as this new human, this new earth that's supposed to come, right? And so in the meantime, my suggestion, my tip is to work on your relationship with God. You know, work. I know it's uncomfortable sometimes, like talking to something that you can't see or hear, right? But I promise you that God listens, right? And so I swear recently I had this a personal thing, right? And I was very I was very sad and praying to God about this thing. And the next day, it almost like God answered me in another in it was through somebody else, but it was about that. And I was like, oh my God, God, you see me. Like literally less than 12 hours that God sent me a sign. And so literally God is there. And that's what we gotta do. We gotta seek God in these times. Because as the world gets crazier and stuff gets more hectic, nobody can save you from this shit. Like humans, other humans can't save you from anything. God is, you know, let God be your refuge, let God be who you cry to. Let God be who you pray to. Let God take you through these things that we're meant to walk, right? These things that our souls chose to walk in this earth, you know. Let God take you through these soul contracts that you made with these people that you chose to journey with, and sometimes these people break your heart, and you still you're being called to serve them, you're being called to let them see God through you, right? And that's tough. It's tough for the ego, for you to serve somebody who you're like judging, because you're like, what the fuck? Why can't you fucking learn? Why can't you do differently? Why can't you just love yourself? Why can't you just love me? But sometimes you're called to serve these people, right? You have these soul contracts, and only God will get you through that. God will get you through anything. God will get you through the worst heartbreak, and again, even the worst heartbreak that I had, God made that happen so that I can change the way that I was, so that I can see the value that I had, the worthiness, my worthiness, how worthy I was. And yo me estaba, I didn't know how worthy I was until that heartbreak happened, and I didn't know that I was a gem. And that really opened my eyes to the gem that I was back then. And even with other little heartbreaks here and there, with little like regular shit, friendships, family, every heartbreak was eye-opening. It's eye-opening. It's also sometimes you break your own heart. You're like, how did I allow myself to allow this? Why didn't I have my own back? Like, why did I laugh at myself? Why did I make jokes about myself? Why did I everything? Why did I give this that I loved? And I didn't really want to give it, but I was people pleasing, and so all that, you get to see all the ways that you haven't loved yourself and that you've abandoned yourself, and you get to see all the ways that other people have abandoned you, and you get to see all the ways that other people haven't loved you, how you deserve to be loved, and don't love you how you deserve to be loved, right? And so the only place where you could take that, right, take that heartbreak, take that sorrow, take that Everything, even the joy, is to God, right? God is the only place, that energy of God is the only place where you can like find refuge, really, because every person in your life is going to break your heart, right? Every person in your life is going to do something that wasn't okay, because every human is going to fail you. Every human is imperfect. We are imperfect. We're not perfect. And so we all make mistakes, and we have to not put all our trust in people, right? But instead put it all in God, right? Put our trust in God and know that God is guiding us in the best way, and that even the worst things that happen are happening for a reason, and that there's a lesson there, and there's wisdom for me to get, and there's experience that I'm going to get, and there's testimony, and that God will walk you through that thing that you're going through, and God will always walk you through. Like if it's popping up in your 3D reality, if you are experiencing this, it's because God needed you to walk this. But God will walk you through it, And that's it. I'm done. Love you.